Do you know what a do-it-yourself restaurant is?
Maybe.
Well, I don't like them.
I'm Brooke from Australia. Let's talk about that.
Good Mythical Morning.
This episode is brought to you by Rode Mics. People always ask us, what kind of microphones do we use on our main channel to get that sweet sound? We use the Rode microphones. The shotgun microphone is the NTG3. I had an adventure at a do-it-yourself restaurant, and I want to share it with you because I want to get into the analysis of not only my experience, but the genre of these type of restaurants in general. I went to a restaurant called Gayukaku.
Right down the road from here.
There's one here, and they're all over LA. It's a chain restaurant. It's a Japanese barbecue. It's not a Japanese steakhouse. Japanese steakhouse.
Shrimp!
Right.
Into your face, on
like
top of the hat.
right,
Fire volcano. I know about those.
Yeah.
You used to work at one.
No, you didn't.
Not really.
There's a Konki back home, but there's Japanese steakhouses everywhere. You know where they are. The ninja chef comes out and does a presentation, tossing food onto your plate. Everybody has a good time. It's a show kind of a thing.
You're there with like strangers, and you keep making eye contact with the big guy at the end.
Right. I guess.
Yeah.
No, not actually. I haven't actually done that. I keep my eye contact on the ninja chef.
Okay.
Because I don't want him to hit me in the eye with a shrimp.
That's safer.
Because he always thinks that's cute. Or when the flames pop up.
But this do-it-yourself is a different deal.
Gayukaku is like a Japanese steakhouse if the Japanese chef dude never showed up.
Okay.
You sit down at a table and there's a hole in the middle of the table where flames come up and there's like a gas-powered piece of charcoal where you cook your own food over a grill. So it's a self-service, do-it-yourself Japanese grill.
It's kind of like a fondue restaurant, but there's not fondue.
Yes, Rhett. Exactly like that, minus the fondue. There is a hole in the middle that you do stuff with, that you take stuff from and you eat.
You are responsible for cooking your food.
Yeah, you do it.
They bring it to you and you cook it.
Now, at the recommendation of producers of Commercial Kings, Joke and Biagio,
yes,
they were a fan of Gayukaku. So, and I don't even know if that's how you say it right.
Well, it certainly appears
to be pronounced that way. So Christy and I went there on a date, just the two of us, and our conclusion at the end of it was, we should bring the kids here because they would have fun cooking.
Yeah.
So the time came over the weekend that we decided to take the kids. We said, hey, kids, we got a treat. We're going to take you to this Japanese barbecue. It's do it yourself. Especially Lily being the oldest, she likes to cook. She's into that. So we thought she'd be really excited. And she was semi-excited.
Semi, okay.
It turned out to be more of a mistake, and it didn't meet our expectations. So this is what happened. We go in there, and the first thing I noticed is that there's no other kids.
Not a place for kids.
And
because there's like a bubbling boil, hot oil thing in the middle.
Well, it's not hot oil. It's a piece of charcoal that's really hot. And so we sat down and they turned this thing on, and it is immediately hot. And I've got a 2-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
He wants to stick his face in it.
Yeah, and even Lando, the 2-year-old, is saying hot, hot. He's like looking at his face. And he's like hot, hot. And it occurs to me, we would never invite our kids to come this close to the stove or to an open flame in our own homes. But yes, I'm going to pay to take them out into public to get this close.
This is like taking a kid to a natural gas plant where they're like burning off the gas in the middle of the night, and they're like, hey kids, let's gather around the huge torch.
And let's pay admission to go to it.
And let's put food into it.
So it starts to dawn on me that, wow, maybe this wasn't that good of an idea. It isn't until you bring a 2-year-old to Gayukaku that you realize that everything there is flammable. The napkins are flammable. The menus are flammable. Yeah, okay. They've got chopsticks. Even the utensils are flammable.
Kindling.
Yeah, and of course Lando is grabbing all of these things, and there's no food here yet, so he's just trying to throw them in there.
Well, he doesn't understand that you're going to cook your food. He's like, well, I guess I'm supposed to burn my chopsticks.
Right, he's thinking he needs to start the fire.
Yeah.
So, we're sitting here, he's tossing things up, we're catching them, we're keeping stuff from going in. I look over at the other table, and there's these two women, and at first when we walked in, they said, your family is so cute. Well, when I looked over at them at that point, they were getting their stuff together. It's like they were getting ready to evacuate for the imminent fire that was going to happen.
They were like figuring out where the exits were.
Eyes as big as saucers. we managed to keep everything out of there. But it quickly turned from let's have a great family experience and let's make memories together to let's just survive. If the only upside I saw was that if anything happened, if there was a fire, I was pretty confident I could get my family out. And then the beauty of it is, well, it's on their insurance,
Yeah.
as opposed to being at my house. Let's play with fire at my house.
Well, they probably have a pretty good policy considering they allow this. They allow questionable-looking men to come in with children and surround and get around the fire.
Questionable looking men. Okay. They should have turned us away at the door. So that's one strike against them for not looking out for not only our best interest, but every other patron in the place.
I think when the kids outnumber the parents, they shouldn't be allowed in this restaurant.
Or probably any restaurant, right? But definitely a do-it-yourself restaurant.
Right.
The other thing, so I'm taking a stand against do-it-yourself restaurants for that reason, because they're not kid-friendly. Kids can burn things down. But also, I'm just not in to eating cooked meat, and right next to it, I've still got raw meat that I've yet to cook. That's just not appetizing to me.
Okay, so there's a health standard issue here.
Right. And then they give you're under the illusion that you're being satiated, but at the end of the meal, you're like, I feel like I ate no more than what would be just an appetizer portion.
Well, the thing that concerns me a little bit about it is, when a chef cooks the food, like if he cooks chicken, for instance,
Yeah.
he's basically legally obligated to cook this chicken to a certain temperature. But when your 2-year-old takes the chicken and puts it onto the fire, he doesn't understand salmonella.
Right. And
you did let him cook, didn't you?
I told him all about salmonella, but I don't think he understood.
He kind of just glazed over.
Yeah, he was just trying to get another napkin into the incinerator.
So what happens if you give yourself salmonella at a do-it-yourself restaurant? Who gets the bad press? You, questionable father, or restaurant owner?
Yeah, I don't know what the liability is. I mean, I didn't read the fine print of the menu.
It's risky.
Well, if you go there, you can read the fine print. I'm just saying I'm not going back. I'm just not a fan of these do-it-yourself restaurants.
What about fondue, though? I remember the FLL dance, Foreign Language League dance, back in the 90s.
This wasn't a prom, right? Are you sure it was FLL?
I don't think I think we did like that steakhouse for the prom.
Second City Grill.
And then for the FLL dance, I took Heather. Who were you with, Missy?
Sarah John, I think.
You took Sarah John, I took Heather. And we went to the Melting Pot, the fondue restaurant. We're like, ladies,
we have got a treat for you tonight.
There is this thing that you can do.
Yeah.
You can dip your food into a boiling pot of oil.
You can put chicken on a toothpick and dip it down.
It's so impressive to the ladies. They didn't seem very impressed. But there's just something about going to a place on a date. And it's fun for a date.
The only time that I would recommend doing a do-it-yourself restaurant is if you're going out on a date and you don't have the confidence to carry on a legitimate conversation with who you're with. So you're just, and as opposed to just sitting there and waiting for your meal, at least you can undercook some meat and then talk about salmonella.
Yeah, you can give your date salmonella.
So if you're in the dating phase of your life, then maybe it's for you, but it's not for families with kids.
So at that awkward pause in the conversation when neither of you knows what to say, you just pick up a piece of chicken and put it into the pot.
Right. Or if it's
make eye contact. This is tricky because I think you should make eye contact with the lady while you're putting the chicken into the pot. Like
that could be golden advice there.
But don't burn yourself.
And
please.
Then if everything is dipped or cooked, then if neither one of you is saying anything, just take it and put it in her mouth.
Oh yeah.
Don't even tell her ahead of time. Just start going for her mouth with the.
You should lock eyes. You should take up the piece of chicken. You should dip it. You should lock eyes with her, and then you should feed it to her.
Let us know what you think about
first date.
Do-it-yourself restaurants.
First date, people. Somebody do that, and then tell us on Facebook or Twitter how it went.
We're gonna spin this wheel. It's the wheel of mythicality. It tells us how to end the episode. You know this by now, right? Because you're a loyal Good Mythical Morning watcher.
And you mythical beasts are the ones who actually submit these ideas for us to use on the wheel. That's how it works. It's sort of a give and take.
I haven't been brought to tears. I'm just
a silent movie. Okay, let's be at a fondue restaurant or
This could
do-it-yourself
be
restaurant.
like our best picture
This is-
version of.
This is our tribute to the artist, the recent Best Picture winner.